Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bald and Bonkers Show. Join your hosts Christopher Mole and Dakota Franson as they take you on a wild ride through the world of the supernatural, with a humorous twist that'll have you laughing and shaking in your boots at the same time. From ghosts to aliens to cryptids, no topic is off limits on this show. And the best part? You don't have to be a believer to join in on the fun. So grab a drink, kick back, and tune in every weekend for new episodes. And if you want even more of the Bald and Bonkers experience, be sure to subscribe to our Patreon page for exclusive content you won't find anywhere else. Let's get weird. Oh, and for the whiners out there, viewer discretion is advised. There you go, you entitled pricks.
Ah! We're tiny! What is wrong with us?
Been shrunk. We've been shrunk.
Oh, honey, we've been shrunk. Oh, why are we not live on Twitter? Get your ass up on there, Twitter. My God, Elon, what are you doing to us?
Elon, what are
Damn
you
it,
doing?
Elon!
He's sitting drinking too much. He's sitting drinking too much of that teaser he was going on about. Ken, that stuff in the wee black jar. You hear him? He's always going on about that. Oh, I have to take 2 cups of this a day. You turn into me. You know. So, ladies and gentlemen, how are you all tonight? On this lovely Saturday night, we're live. We have got a special treat for you, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, we're very, very tiny, and so is Dakota. He's extremely tiny.
I know. This has got to be the smallest I've ever been. But ladies and gentlemen, earlier this week, you may have seen me post little messages about Chris and I contemplating coming back to actual live shows. Yes.
Yes.
And we decided, you know what? We miss having the audience. We miss, talking with you guys, going on about life. So, yeah, we're back. And tonight, live from New York, this Saturday night, Bald and Bonkers is going to be featured on the TSX building on Times Square in New York fucking City.
Yeah! I'm just waiting for everybody to come into the chat. There's 4 people watching us already. Come on, where are you, everybody? Where are you?
We wanted to start the show a little bit early because it's going to be about, 9 minutes, I'm being told. I have a little countdown timer right here. 9 minutes until we are actually seen on the big screen in New York City.
Yes. Can you imagine that? Maybe 3 people will look up and they'll go, oh, look, what are these strange bald people doing up there?
Iron Fire Horse, how's it going, man?
Yeah. He's the first man in the room. You're the first one here. Well done.
Yes. Well, we better share this out so people know that
I've already shared it
out
to the old twat, whatever it's called,
The twit-twa. The twit-twa. This is what happens when you shove those tampons so far up your nose. You gotta stop when there's resistance.
I can't help it, Hey, you can see me.
I know. If you're wondering where the hell we're at, look at the very bottom of the screen, just above the little ticker here. We're here. We're here.
Iron Fire Horse. Look at the very, very bottom. You will see a handsome guy sitting next to a kind of slightly younger guy. Yes, we're here. Just down. What?
So, anyway, Chris, I haven't really talked to you all week. How the hell have you been, man?
I've been fine. I've been doing my kind of ghosty stuff. I did a show last night with Nando, and I noticed you changed the Dakota. You couldn't help yourself, could you? You had to change it. I don't think Nando noticed. I don't think he noticed.
I don't think he noticed the first time we did the probing joke on him when he was on.
That was quite funny
on this show.
It was quite funny in the chat when you mentioned the lube and the probe and stuff like that, because you could see him kind of grinning while I was asking him questions.
Nando, if you're seeing this, you need to check the description because I made sure to put it out on all the platforms Chris streamed to last night.
There's Dots MC. Welcome from Hey Everyone, love from Ireland. What part of Ireland are you from, Dots? Do tell us, I like Ireland. Ireland's a beautiful country,
It is very beautiful. That was definitely beautiful spot when I went over there for my Ireland and Scotland trip.
Aye.
I honestly miss it.
I think is it Jenny from she's away to that haunted castle. She's doing an investigation there tonight. I think
Is
that'll be
that
quite
so?
yes, she's doing a live stream there, so that
Oh,
should be quite interesting. We'll have to pop in there and see her, But look at that amazing. That is a really good screen. What is that? Is that like a 4K screen or something in New York?
They highly recommend we see they post. We
Look at
sent
that
them
woman.
the
She's playing with
4K.
those big balls.
Yeah. Well, it looks like a bachelorette party, so that doesn't surprise me. It was like, there's a reason why we're doing this, Iron Horse. Like, give it about another 6 minutes. We thought we'd pop in early, BS a little bit, let the chat fill up.
I think we should do this again sometime. I'll play for it that time, and we should do this again sometime near Halloween or something. If we get any special guests.
Oh, yeah. Well, now that we got this hooked up, I mean, if everybody's paying attention on the screen, anybody can advertise on this screen in Times Square now. All you have to do is get that little app that's shown on the screen. And for those of you who are listening to the audio version of the podcast, show up on the fucking lives. It's a lot more fun.
Those are big balls.
God.
That's a big pizza. Can you imagine a pizza that size?
Oh, that's New York for you, baby.
Can you imagine getting a pizza that size?
The city that never fucking sleeps.
It's somewhere I would like to go is New York City. I would like to go and visit the Empire State Building. My niece has actually been there. My niece Rebecca, she's actually been to New York City. I bet there's some amazing restaurants there, Dakota.
A lot of restaurants that I probably could not eat at just because of my issues, but hey. So now, look, now you can see us.
Or something?
What?
Where?
What?
Where?
What are you talking about? What do you mean?
You. I can't see you in there. I can't see you in there. Obviously, I can see us there at the side and all that.
Oh yeah, I switched it over to the side so the people can actually see us.
I thought we were up there. I was so excited there.
No, not yet. No. We should have waited probably a few more minutes.
Happening.
No, not yet. Though I do have a feeling I should.
Pizza. You know, Iron Fire Horse.
Okay.
I want that pizza too. I could share it with you if you want, Iron Fire Horse. We could half it down the middle.
You would probably
one bit for me.
You probably have to share it because I don't think you would be able to eat that all, man.
I must have. That's had really good quality for those screens. These screens must be really big TVs. What I mean is, they must be like high grade. They must be quite expensive.
Oh yeah.
Imagine having something like that. Playing the Xbox.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be great.
You and your GTA.
I wonder what a size pizza with it. I bet that pizza that size was probably about what $500-600 than the rest. Oh, what's she doing there? She's doing like a kung fu thing there.
Is it just me, or has it just been a crazy week this week, man? I'm trying to show us some chatter. Oh, no, it was really good. But crazy.
I've had a really relaxing week this week. I had my car done today. I got my car oil changed today and the air conditioning done today. See, oh my God. See the difference.
Did you make sure to use the lube?
Oh, yes. Yes, there's nothing to lube, no. Yeah. Especially a big bone.
Yeah.
I watched your show last night, but that was pre-recorded. I watched your show last night.
Yeah, the Hidden Files shows are pre-recorded, so that way I can work on other things, which really came in handy yesterday because I actually had to go out of town.
What's your next? What's on next Friday? What's the one next Friday?
Actually, show you how to communicate with these beings. Go a little bit more in depth with it. Yeah.
See, that's
probably
that's
get some other hater
a communication thing, that, because that's look, you're going to get the haters on there. You're going to get this on there.
Oh no, I know. I got to thinking about it, and I posted a little TikTok about it last night. Obviously, when you go to gain some traction and get out into the world,
watching it last night.
but here for the people, so we can talk for the people that didn't see it. So someone pointed out online that when you go out in public and gain traction for these types of things, obviously you're going to get haters. And as frustrating and as irritating as some of them may be, this person pointed out, these people usually go online and stir up hate because they hate themselves. And because they know that they have stupid reasons to spread hate, they try to rally up the troops. So when in reality, we're bringing people together. We're bringing people together. And chances are... Exactly. And chances are, you also got to remember, and I wanted to kind of share this for others who may be hesitant because of these people. You see, the tampon's up the nose again.
It's a Vicks inhaler, everybody.
I'm joking. But anyway, I was just going to say, chances are most of the people that these individuals try to rally up ain't going to know what the hell's going on. They're going to try to look into whatever is such the bad thing just to find out what the heck's actually going on. And they may actually enjoy it. So keep on spreading those videos saying I'm an asshole.
Yeah. I will say this. There's the live forward to. I'm looking forward to our guest. That's going to be quite an interesting show, because I've been reading the bits that you tell me to read, that I never really enjoy, but I've actually read them.
All right. Any
am
minute
looking forward to that.
We're on!
It's coming up, guys.
Yeah! We're up! Look! Bald and Bonkers on Times Square, baby! We did it! And that's it.
So there you go, everybody, and that's for all the haters out there. I'm afraid we're up in Times Square,
we got movies, we got all sorts of interviews coming up. Yesterday, I did a show I did an interview for a Brazilian show. That was interesting. And no hairy men were involved. The host was actually quite bald.
But look, see, if you
he's been getting all excited about
and the paranormal. Have you noticed that? Right, that's something that I really want to discuss here. Maybe it won't take a couple of minutes. But see, people in the paranormal, most of them are bald. Look at Brian J. Laverty. You could shine that head up and make your own power off it, right? I'm the same, right? So is the
You have been obsessive about Brian ever since you found out he was a hairdresser.
Well, see, that's the thing. I would love to see what he looked like a long veil wig, like fluffy hair. That just blowing in the wind, You're
detailing your fantasies on air. This is getting to be kind of dangerous.
It's a joke, Brian. It's a joke, Brian. It's. But honestly, I would love to see a picture of Brian when he had hair.
Hit him up, Brian. There you go.
What
you guys do in your own time.
Can I ask you something? Have you got any photos there when you still had hair?
Not readily available, but yeah.
You should see me. You should see, and this is the honest joke. I'll show you one day, ladies and gentlemen. When I was 15 years old, and my hair was as thick as anything. I'm not joking. You, it looked like a bird's nest on top of it.
Nah, my hair used to be so curly that everybody thought I permed it. Got a perm.
See what happened? Do you think that's maybe the radiation for the UFOs that's taking you?
Actually, my grandmother on my father's side had an interesting little remark.
What was that?
Said she always noticed that people on my father's side of the family, their psychic abilities really seemed to start kicking in when their hair started falling out.
See, that's weird, because when I started to lose my hair, that's when everything I started to open up to the world and see things and stuff like that. Strange that. Iron Fire Horse, who's Brian? Brian J. Laverty. It's a wee joke we've got. We joke about each other's baldness. Go and look him up. He's on Facebook. He does the Global Ghost Hunt.
Global Ghost Hunt, Parapost. It's all right. His stuff's all right. It's just all right.
Dakota, what we're talking about tonight? What amazing thing we're talking about tonight?
I think we should actually give a little update about one of the guests we had last week, because we had to do some follow-ups off the air.
Yes.
And we had Ann Bender on, and let's just say that show got interesting.
It was, when especially the knowledge that you told me about maybe your genetic past, and then she just came out with it. She just came out about
that we apparently had some sort of familial connection out of Stonehenge, and maybe. Mom took a DNA test, and apparently she's got like a third or fourth cousin out of London. So,
see, here's an interesting fact. See, when she says to me, she says, "Oh, I can see you standing next to Stonehenge when it was getting built, and they were moving the stones by like artificial gravity." Can you mean, right? And this is quite interesting. I looked it up. I just Googled myself. I couldn't help myself. I Googled myself. And I found out my last name. There was a guy in the 1700s made a map of Stonehenge, and his last name was my name. But which was even stranger, as I went back and I asked my family where we're actually from. See, I always thought it was France, but it wasn't. It was near Stonehenge, and our family castle's near Stonehenge. And I've always had a fascination with engineering. I love stuff to do with like dam building. I've always had this weird fascination with like engineering stuff, like dams and bridges getting built and stuff like that. I don't know if you've noticed it on the YouTube, because I'm always looking stuff up. And I'm wondering if that's...
I'm a bit concerned about some of your searches.
I know, I'm sure you look up some strange stuff there, but do you not think that's a bit strange? That I've always had this fascination with like engineering aspects to life,
Well, they say that interests and hobbies and stuff like that can actually be passed genetically. I mean, there's been cases where people who had to get organ transplants, they started getting qualities of the people they got the organs donated from. But no, the other thing that was interesting, she also mentioned about the
Hey,
Josephine. That's the one that hooked me up with the Brazil show, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Anyway,
cool.
We got to talking about... She started hearing some wheezing and what sounded like somebody on an oxygen tank, and said that there was a woman that popped in. Well, I interrogated the appropriate people right after the show stopped. And sure as shit, the previous owner of this house, I knew she had several breathing issues. They literally built a ramp on the house to help her transport to the hospital easier. She is among the land of the dead. So it's confirmed. It was essentially confirmed.
It's not just that. She told me about my grandmother before the start of the show, and I was, she got it right, and I mean she got it 100% right. There's no way you could have looked that up, because I never talk about my kind of private life on Facebook. You can that. I never really talk about it on Facebook. And there's no way you could have even looked that up.
It's like,
it's weird.
Yeah, I'll admit, that's probably, I have to say, the third or fourth psychic that genuinely impressed me since we started doing this show.
We need to get her back again one day. We should really get her back again one time, because it was just interesting. And it's weird, because ever since that meeting with her, I've been totally different. Totally. It's like it maybe helped. I don't know. I changed I sorted all my crystals and stuff like that, and everything seems to be better. So there you go. What's that in the chat there, Iron Firehorse? I remember a story in Reader's Digest decades ago where a person got someone else's eyes and they drew pictures of the donor.
Okay, that is creepy. But doesn't surprise me.
See, that's just too. That's like horror movies have been made about that, haven't they?
Oh, yeah, but it's happened so many times that it's well documented in mainstream science that, yeah, they're not 100% sure on why it happens, but it happens. Like, gets you thinking about, like, reincarnation and stuff like that, where people are remembering past lives.
See, it's something. Reincarnation's a very interesting thing, and you could do like a 2-hour show in it.
Oh, yeah.
And it makes you wonder. Obviously, when you go back, when it's your time to go cross back, you remember everything, right? So I'll remember who I was in all my previous lives before, right? And the same will happen to Dakota. The same will happen to you all, unless of course you wake up my pod. That is, unless that's your side. See, that's how does that come in? If I was meant to ask you to go, how does that work? Right? Say for instance, you were born, you died, you're a spirit, you decide to go to Earth, and you're born, right? But then the alien world, right? Let's look Elena's side of things like that. Right, you're an intergalactic alien. You're here to save humanity and stuff like that. So do you like basically hijack that same soul?
Well, Elena's explained it before. It's not that the soul itself that gets hijacked. It's that the body gets primed for several generations in order to be able to accept an alien soul. It still technically falls under reincarnation, but they just figured out how to control where the soul goes. I mean, hell, there's stories where they figured out how to retrieve souls of soldiers who died in battle and put them into a perfectly good cloned body.
Yeah.
But see, just like with here's the interesting, just like with organ transplants, there's a window, and it varies on case to case. There's a window of time when the transfer can happen, which makes you wonder.
I'm going to say to you before we go into the subject we've got for the night. What's your thoughts on living forever? Would you right? Say I says to you, I can give you something that make you live for the next 300 years, and you win the age. Would you do it?
I don't know if I would.
Have you seen that new breakthrough in science? I watched it. It was on TikTok, and I thought this can't be right. It's on TikTok, so I went and googled it, and it's right enough. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere. There's this scientist, right, and they've got a mouse. And the mouse's eye, look this up, the mouse's eyes have aged where it's blind. And they've actually created this stuff that they can inject into the mouse. Mm-hmm. And it basically makes that organ, the eye or whatever it is, go back to when it was maybe like 5 years or 10 years old. So it regenerates that. But the guys like that, so basically you've cured blindness. And he says, yes, this is in 2 years' time, if all the trials go correctly, see people with cataracts and blindness will be completely cured. But he says that's not the big bit. He says this stuff that we've made, we can inject this anywhere. So we could inject it into your liver. We could inject it into your heart. We could inject it into your body. So basically, he says an average human's life will go from say the oldest is 100. It could go to like maybe 180, 190.
Well, they say the first person to make it to 150 has already been born. The human body has always been kind of estimated that if nothing happens to it, where it doesn't get sick under the most ideal conditions, it can potentially live to be 200 years old by itself.
Well, there you go. But then think about it. If you could get like an injection and you wake up one day and you look in your 20s or 30s again. But the guy says you can only use this a few times, and then for some reason it doesn't. But you think about it. If you're going to get an injection, right? Say I was 90-year-old and I was blind as a Bulgarian bat, right? And I got this injection and it cured my blindness for, say, another 50, 60 years. That's all right. But there'll be people out there thinking, oh, I wonder if you could keep getting that hour and hour and hour again. I don't think you can. Maybe you could. Where does it stop? That's the thing. Does the rich live look at, is it Elysium? You ever seen the film Elysium?
Mm-hmm.
Where they live in the orbit. I don't know if anybody in the chat's seen it. It's like a space station in orbit, and all the rich stay up there, and they've got like medibeds that heal you, and they're hundreds and hundreds of years old. Where all the poor people on the planet are basically doing slave labor, and they don't have the med beds. It's a scary thought. It is.
Yeah, kind of like that movie with Justin Timberlake, In Time, where currency is time itself, and if you run out of time, you die.
Yes, I've seen that film. That's quite good. And they rob the bank and they stole all the time, aye.
Yeah, it's like everybody is made it to where they stop aging about at the age of 25. They have the timers on their wrist, and the whole story is that the whole system's rigged so that the poor keep getting choked out and start dying off, so it's nothing but rich people. Kind of sounds a lot like what's going on today, if you ask me.
There is a lot of what's going on today. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have got predictions, prophecies. What's your thoughts on this, Dakota? What is something I was meant to ask you? What is your thoughts on prophecies?
As always, be careful of who's speaking it.
Yeah.
There's some people who have been scary accurate, and there's been a couple that we've had the pleasure of having on this show.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also people who are such full of shit.
Yes.
That they just don't care. They're more about making themselves feel special.
Yeah.
So.
Right, here's a person, Baba Vanga. Right, predictions. I mean, I've been reading this. Right, she's been spookily right. I would say she's better than Nostradamus. She's been spookily right. I know that Nostradamus says that Hitler and all that, and that was meant to be Hitler, obviously, and you get the name a wee bit wrong there. But it's really interesting. I'll read you a wee bit about her background, because I always wondered how she became blind. But anyway, from her rise, I'll read this. This is I'll give you the link in a minute if you want to post it in the chat. Yeah. From her rise during the dark days of 1996 in Bulgaria. Did you ask me? Right. Let's see. She predicted everything from 9/11 to Donald Trump. Predicted Donald Trump, right? So obviously we know her. She's blind. She can't see. She could actually see. Did you know that? But if she opened her eyelids, it was excruciating pain. She got when she opened her eyes.
Yeah, I've heard that.
No, it's quite interesting. On the 5th of March, this is quite interesting. The prophecies of Baba Vanga. I'm not reading them all, guys, because there's just a lot. On the 5th of March, 1953, the Soviet leader Joseph Stalin passed away. She predicted that. Suffering from a stroke. On the 26th of April, 1986, the world's most nuclear disaster occurred, Chernobyl. She predicted that. The power plant, September. And then she obviously, the 9/11 Twin Towers, she predicted that. So she conducted a series of plane hijackings, including the worst terrorist attacks in modern US history. Well, wasn't it? I mean, that was the first major terrorist attack in America.
Mm-hmm.
Which is quite interesting. They're very different historical events that didn't seem to have any obvious connection, however. There is a thread running through each occurrence that has baffled scientists and historians alike. The link is the blind woman from Bulgaria, known as Baba Vanga. Am I saying her name right? Baba Vanga, or most prophetic
so, actually.
as Nostradamus, right? Supposedly gifted with mystical capabilities, Baba Vanga has become globally famous due to the era accuracy of her predictions. Even though she has passed away in 1996, people continue to, with bated breath, to hear her prophecies. See, she's actually predicted prophecies all the way up until 5079, the year 5079, which is quite a while. Which she points to believe the universe would cease to exist. Maybe that was just when she's... I know, but obviously we did by that time, unless we've taken that injection.
It's like,
you know,
right?
Yeah. Born. This is quite interesting. She was born prematurely in 1911. Baba Vangia's real name was, oh my god, now I'm going to butcher this, by the way.
Don't try it.
Vangila Pazavska Vaska, right? She lived with her family in the city of Struzhmaka in modern day North Macedonia, which whichever type
Chris,
is
just
best.
tap out. Tap out.
I'm not. I'm right.
All right.
Our birth in the area had come under Bulgarian rule, so it's shoved in Bulgaria. For now, we'll just call it Bulgaria, right? With the Ottomans were driven out during the First War. Vega's family was very poor. Her father fought in the Bulgarian army in World War One, and her mother passed away while she was still very young. That's a shame. However, she still managed to lead a relatively ordinary life. Now, this is where it gets quite interesting. During the early years, that would all change age of 12. Now, remember this. This is when it happened. Now, you listen to this, Dakota, because this has actually got an interesting point. When a mysterious event robbed her of her sight, during a large storm, a tornado supposedly lifted her high into the air and dropped her into a nearby field. Now, let me say this to you. Nobody witnessed this tornado. Nobody. Nobody witnessed anything. There was no damage to any buildings. Nothing. Something zooked her up, right? During a large storm, the tornado supposedly lifted her high into the air and dropped her into a nearby field. Her eyes were so badly damaged that she could no longer open them without suffering excruciating pain. She lay in the field undetected for several days as her family members desperately tried to find her. When they did, her eyes were sealed shut, right, and encrusted in a thick layer. And when they opened her eye in the hospital, she screamed in agony, even though there was nothing wrong with her eyes. So she had to keep her eyes shut, which is quite interesting. Her eyes were sealed shut, encrusted with a thick layer of dirt, and her eyesight was lost forever, right? Vaga later claimed, and this is quite interesting, claimed and experienced her first prophetic vision during those days, lying alone in the field. She believed she had gained the ability beyond the mortal realm and could not only predict the future, but heal people. As well as she later told the paranormal researcher, right, powers that invisibility, I don't know how to understand who she was, right? In 1925, she attended a school for the blind where she learned today like Braille and all these kind of things, but later couldn't really do it. So she actually had to give up. Her predictions of Wenger wrote them down, so her family and friends wrote the stuff down, right? So Susan believed in her. Redemption spread from the local area. Thousands began to flock to her, right? And basically, she was like Nostradamus. The leader's movie stars Vanga was visited to everyone who made pilgrims to her home. Mountains seek for foresight, and a visitor became a future husband, right? In 1942, remained married until he died in 1962. Videoed Vanga continued to meet as many people as possible. But here's the interesting part. In her predictions, this is really interesting, by the way. See, she said seen these people that were shiny that would come to her. Shiny people or something they were called, right? Now, I've had to think about this. What happens if, right, she was soaked up by a tornado and then left lying maybe 3 or 4 fields away, right? Nobody witnessed the tornado. There was no damage done. What happens if this was an intervention for our friends? And the shiny people that would come, because this is quite interesting, the shiny, the lightened ones, as she called them, they were like, they came, they were like, and they were light all around them. They would come to her and tell her stuff. This is how she knew stuff.
I'm getting something. Obviously, if we were to take this story as it is,
yeah,
we're looking at possible head trauma, starvation, dehydration,
yeah,
obvious near-death experience, The head trauma, near-death experience, that has been known to jumpstart potential psychic ability. She may have been abducted. The eyes being opened. Some kind of lobotomy.
The doctors that worked on her say she could see absolutely fine, but the nerve damage done to her face during the drop for high altitude done something to it. And that they thought, because I watched a video on this last night, it was a 2-hour long one, and they thought that the damage done to her nerves in her face were keeping her eyes closed. There was nothing wrong with her eyes. She could use them. But if she did, she experienced excruciating pain. And there was these, she says when she was doing her thing, when she was seeing visions, these beings would come. And they were never alone. Never alone. They were always came in pairs. And she would call them the angels, the angelic, right? But they weren't. They told her things. They says, listen, you have to tell humanity. This is where she used to, and research this yourself, guys. She used to say that these beings told her stuff. But she also used to say she used to see things. She's seen 2 towers on fire. Do you know what she predicted? She predicted in round about the year 2005. Obviously, that's not happened yet, but she's predicted there would be a bioweapon released in the world. Right? Then she predicted that all the birds in 2022, I think it was, or 23, sorry, 2023, 2024, all the birds would die to near extinction. And she says it wouldn't really affect humanity, but there would be humanity would rush to try and save the bird count, to save the birds. And the look at that, look at bird flu. Look how bird flu is spreading the now throughout the birds the now.
Look at the spontaneous populations of birds just dropping.
Yes, that's what she said. She says 2025 is when humanity will lose its bird friends.
Think about it, Chris. The type of nerve damage they're describing, what you would have to do is essentially take a bunch of needles, poke it around the eye structure right through here. And it would cause permanent damage if whatever was operating on her wasn't careful. And that could also be a psychosomatic response to where she had to watch everything. That was an abduction.
Well, think about it. And this is quite interesting because she was getting interviewed. There's old files on it. You have to read it yourselves, guys, because it's just immense. People in the village that said it happened heard her screaming. They went out and she was gone.
Yeah.
I think you would notice the tornado sucking somebody up. Right?
Screen memory.
Aye. Well, she said it was a tornado. How do you pretend she wasn't just walking along and they beamed her up?
That was probably going to be the only thing that she knew could potentially do that to her, Chris.
She's also talked about artificial intelligence, machines.
Mm-hmm.
And she's also talked about nuclear war. She says there will be a third world war that will start in Europe. And that was 2015, she predicted that. 2014, she predicted that for that. I know she died in 1996, guys, but everything's been written down. See, I think a lot of people have got it all mixed up when these events are going to happen, right? Obviously. But a lot of stuff's coming true. A lot of it's coming true. I mean, what's worrying me is the nuclear. She says there'll be a small exchange of nuclear weapons. And the world will not face an end. This is what she says, the world will not face an end that time, but it will in the year 2040, there will be a great war after that, even worse.
Well, there is supposed to be an extinction event by 2050.
Yeah. See, then it comes on to our other interesting guy is Nostradamus. I mean, he's actually quite interesting. He published his stuff in 1555. A lot of people don't know this about Nostradamus. Nostradamus was a plague doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And he was also, which I found really interesting, he lost his family, his wife and his children to the plague. And later on, he married again. And he used to write prophecies. And he was basically, he was like the olden days healers, right? That's what he did. He healed people. And because he was actually paid because he is expertise in the plagues. People would ask him to come to cities and ask them how to like survive the plague and stuff. But he started to have visions of like pollution, which is quite interesting. Pollution would surround the earth, and then he had predictions of war. Hister, that was one of his persisters. Hister would conquer Europe. Hister. I mean, that's quite interesting because obviously it's meant to be Hitler. What's that? I'm just reading Iron Fire's Horse that Manson I lived with in the 1988 until he died in 1989 was really interesting. Yeah, it's quite interesting because here we go. Some claim that Nostradamus predicted the rise of Adolf Hitler, but also predicted a great war would occur in 2023, turning to of Nostradamus. This is the history, by the way, channel. If you just, do you want the link sent so you can post it in the chat?
Yeah.
Excuse a sec here.
Send me links, man, so that way people can actually read up and we're trying to be better than other assholes on the internet.
Oh, aye. Because let's face it, there's loads of assholes on the internet now. You know what I mean?
They try to say that they know everything and spill all these fancy stories. It's like I have a copy of Nostradamus' journals somewhere, but I don't remember what I did with it.
See, this is it says in 2023, a conventional war rather than a mutually assured destruction of all-out nuclear Armageddon will start. Does that sound really familiar for what's happening right now?
I'd be very careful.
Because let's face it, the UK started sending certain shells and stuff.
Yeah, and certain news outlets are starting to report that it's widely believed that the UFO topic is getting so much attention right now to the public to divert the fact the U.S. is trying to sabotage peace efforts.
Yeah.
Oh, I just said it.
Nope. Oh well. Destruction. And see, this is quite interesting. It's the end of the Mars dream. Tech turned to space. Elon Musk. Now, this is quite interesting. Hasn't been afraid of making a bold predictions about humankind might finally set foot on Mars by 2022. He suggested in 2029, a year in which astronauts would make this the second giant leap, but might Nostradamus be pouring cold water on such bold aspirations with... See, do you know lately, I'm going to say this, there's something funny going on now with the space stuff.
Oh, yeah.
The Chinese rover blew up the other day on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What do you call him? Elon Musk's biggest rocket ever exploded. Do you feel like there's something working against everybody?
Considering Elon has actually been considering his rocket explosions a good sign.
I know.
That's the thing that's confusing me.
That just cost me $1 billion. Oh well, it's not $1 billion.
Yeah, he's also in the trouble with the FAA because of that shit.
I must admit, it was impressive to watch it getting launched. This is where Nostradamus has predicted, right? And I think this is going to come true. Economic disaster. I mean, look at the way the winning is the now, guys. Look at the way everything is going. I bet you this year or next year, or it'll be this year, the banks crash. And that CBDC or whatever it's called will come in and everything will be digitalized. Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the latest coming out of the World Health Organization or whatever?
What's that about?
That we all should kill our pets?
I seen that.
Fuckers.
Yeah, I know. I know. And obviously, Nostradamus also predicted the worsening climate crisis. As the CO2 levels, global temperature, as the sea would rise. See, this. I've got a wee bit of problems here, right? There's places around Britain where they've put special rocks with dates on them, right? And it says by the certain dates those rocks should be underwater, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's places around Britain where the water's actually dropped slightly, and I know there's something going on with the weather, guys. I'm not saying that global warming isn't real, but what I'm saying is, look, we're on a planet that's changing. You go back 100 million years ago, right? See where I'm sitting right now in Scotland. 100 million years ago, where I'm there was a mile underwater, right? And it was also tropical, right? Any island round about. And this is what people don't get. The South Pole used to be a tropical climate, guys. It used to be green with trees and God knows what on it, right? It's called change. It's meant to happen. And us humans, yes, us humans are, I will say this, we are disgusting. We're polluting this planet with God knows what, with plastic mainly. You see that report the other day that how plastic's actually making it into the water supply and people, it's actually finding it in bodies when they're doing autopsies.
Yeah. Microplastics have officially been found in like 1 in 8 people. Is the official estimate. I'm just correcting my earlier statement here. It wasn't the World Health Organization. It was the World Economic Forum that Klaus Schwab, that everybody's freaking out. Yeah, he's saying everybody should kill their dogs and cats, opt in for turtles and snakes and stuff. It's like, yeah, go fuck yourselves.
And eat bugs. Do you know they've actually passed a law now where they're actually introducing, and this would surprise guys, see most of the food you've got in your house now, it will have bug ingredients in it.
Yeah. So technically it's good for you in a survival situation, but...
But see, this also that Nostradamus has predicted growing a civil unrest, and that is true what's happening. Look at the way with money they knew in the UK and the way the world's falling apart. I mean, it can only happen for so long like this. This war in Europe's a ridiculous waste of money. Think of the money that's getting flung into this. Billions, trillions. You know, it's
hard to deny.
Yeah.
It's hard to deny.
It's sad.
It is. Even sadder when you really think. Even sadder when you think that we've been seeing this type of shit coming for so long, and we're just now starting to take some sort of action because we realize, oh wait, there's a cliff edge. We are going to go over it.
Yeah. I think, right, I will say this, there's a lot other cleaner forms of making electricity out there. And I will say this, where I stay, it used to be beautiful. I can still see the mountains, which is just over that way. I can see the mountains of Loch Lomond and covered in snow and stuff like that, but you wouldn't recognise it here. There must be over 5,000 windmills, turbines. They're going up everywhere. And I mean everywhere. And it's given us clean energy. But what people don't realise, see when it's no windy, you don't get any. But Scotland, it's windy quite a lot.
Yeah.
But there is other forms of electricity out there. I mean, Toyota's actually working on an engine now, which has probably been out for a long, long, long time. That's what they say. That runs on water. Hydrogen. And what is it? Like a gallon of water gets you 700 miles to the... I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Hey, somebody already tried putting that out, but they fucking poisoned him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's... it's sad, you know, and it should have happened a long time ago. It really should have. And I don't know what's going to happen. The world's just changing.
But here's the thing, I saw that this was an interview with between Neil deGrasse Tyson and Joe Rogan. There's, we have the methods to completely take care of water shortages in the world right now.
Yeah, I know.
We can desalinize the ocean. I believe
Yes.
Israel has one of the biggest plants right now. But who's going to pay for the energy to run for it?
See, this is
who's going to pay to convert everything?
See, this is quite an interesting subject. I'm going to name a radio show here called Coast to Coast AM. I was listening to this about a year ago, 2 years ago, and there's this expert on. Do you know they can build a reactor now, the size of a small car, and that reactor could easily power a small town, a population of 5,000 people, right? And can you imagine build a desalination plant and a nuclear reactor next to it? But then you'll get the people like, oh, what about tidal waves? No, everywhere gets tidal waves, guys. What happens if we build the nuclear reactor somewhere else? I mean, that's. I got a ridiculous one the other day. I was talking to somebody with a new emergency alert that's on the phones in the UK, right? Which didn't work, by the way. Some of them worked. And somebody says to me, says, why did you turn that off? And I says, because I don't want it on my phone. And then somebody said this, what happens if there's a tidal wave? I live 70 miles inland in Scotland. I mean, it would need to be some size, 60 miles or 50 or 60 miles inland. It would need to be some size of bloody tidal wave.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I live in the UK, where we get an earthquake once a week, once every 6 years or something like that, something stupid like that, and it's not that much.
I mean, here, Iron Firehorse actually brings up a very interesting concept. Can you imagine how our world would be had mass-produced hemp electric cars instead of bowing to Ford and oil and gas companies? You got to remember, the oil companies, they have so much money right now, they could literally just sit on their ass and still have trillions and trillions of daughters, probably some of them, with dollars. But, here in the U.S., people always wonder, why does the U.S. not use the metric system? Well, because you're fucking Americans and you're lazy. That's part of it. No, Ford didn't want to pay to convert all the equipment to the metric system. That's literally, and rallied to Congress. That's why it happened.
And I'm going to say this to you two guys, right? See, electric cars. The technology is not really there now for electric cars. Either a great idea, but it's not really there for it. You have no idea how dirty an electric car is. You've got to remember that lithium needs to be mined, right? And do you know they actually use child labour to mine the lithium? And it's not just that. We have to mine cobalt too. Everybody knows what cobalt is. Cobalt, right? And it's very, very dangerous to mine it, right? This is the great thing. You look at all the mines that's making these car batteries, right? And there's these big dump trucks. These dump trucks that get 2 miles to the gallon.
Not even that most days.
Not even that, right? Run about a mile to the gallon, right? And these things are burning maybe 500 gallons, 600 gallons, 700 gallons a day, right?
Easy.
Right? And then they're putting that in an electric car. And it's stupid. See, these hydrogen cars is a good idea. See, petrol and diesel cars, they're still a good idea. Look, Jesus, they can build diesel cars that get bloody 90 miles to the gallon. And all it comes out the back is water vapor. It's madness. It is truly madness. And we're not there yet. Our technology's not there yet, guys. And maybe in 10, 15 years' time, we'll have the technology to build a decent electric car. But it's
we have the technology. It's just that we don't have the.
It's just we're not allowed to use it.
We don't have the people with the right mindset to put it forward.
Did you see the US military's new tank? They went to build an electric tank. and they've got to change the battery every, I think it's 50 miles or something like that. That's going to really, really handy, that, you know, in a war zone. There's a wee lorry fully into it with the batteries in the back.
That wouldn't surprise me, knowing the military.
This is what people don't realise. You still need to make electricity to fill the bloody things up. A lot of people think, there's people out there that are that stupid that they think electricity comes from pixie land. I'm serious.
No, it's fully possible to draw power source directly from the energy of the universe itself.
Yeah.
That's something that Tesla was trying to put together.
But I think he managed that. I really do.
He successfully managed it. Edison took it apart. Donald Trump's uncle was part of that raid.
Yeah.
It goes to make you wonder, just to kind of tie this all back into the topic of tonight. It's very clear that within the next just couple years, we're going to see something huge happen that is going to change our understanding of the world itself. It could very well be that psychic abilities could very well be a evolutionary step in mankind, but it could also be that certain individuals were activated early as a precautionary measure to at least get the thoughts out there. But here's the thing. We are all still obsessed with the Roman circus.
Yes.
We're all still want to, focus more on GTA. Just a little.
I could have some fun.
The fucking.
You play your Halo. You play your Halo.
Hey, I can't judge. I've made video games.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And which is true. One of mine just came out. But anyway, people. It's a simple matter of the fact. We know the world has gone to hell, but we feel so helpless. We want to regress to a mentality where we're like children and we don't feel like shouldn't have to worry about that type of thing. We want other people to take care of this. And as long as we have that mentality, we will be royally and epically damned.
See, it's quite interesting what Iron Firehorse says is I think we're living in a simulation operated by a quantum computer. Do you know what I mean? Imagine we were. That's a subject. We'll see if we can get a guest for you for that, Iron Firehorse. But it's imagine we were. Imagine we were. And maybe that's what this life really is. You know, maybe it is like that. And maybe that's us going back to source. I don't think we are no artificial intelligence, to be purely honest. Truth. That's what the people with prophecies predicted. Baba Vanga actually predicted that we would make artificial intelligence and we would make realities not our own, but it'd be like our own.
Think about it, metaverse. Or at least what it was proposed to be.
Yeah. Folk run about their goggles on and all that.
See, we're already have, even if it's just what would entail to be the infant stages of complete and utter revolution to completely change how things are in the world. And yes, I will totally stand with the fact that you should always show a bit of skepticism when it comes to psychics. But here, when it comes to actually shooting it down, it's like, oh, Baba Vanga got things wrong. Nostradamus got things wrong. Edward Casey got things wrong. Sylvia Brown, I think she permanently shot herself in the ass after the Amanda Berry incident. But I want to give it an example, right? Just to give people something to think about. Think the world's oceans as all the information you can possibly want to get, past, present, future, all potential futures. I want you to take this cup and put everything in it. Can you?
Yeah.
So, yeah, the psychics may get something wrong. They are still human in a way. That's why there needs to be some sort of test done to make sure people are at least trying to be as genuine as possible.
I honestly, I was watching a thing tonight. I honestly don't know what the world's going to be like. Obviously, you're probably going to outlive me, Dakota, because I'll be 42 this year, and you'll be what, 20, 27, 28?
I'll be 28 next year.
And obviously, you're going to outlive me. Well, I don't know. He may get up a line in the motor, trampled to death with a herd of donkeys. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I think in about 10, and this is my honest opinion. Everybody in the chat, what do you think society will look like in 40 years? The way
What's it going to look
everything's
like
going.
in 5?
It's quite funny about Iron Firehouse. We're lucky to get another 7. But
Yeah,
it's
right.
right. Say we don't blow each other up, right? Say we don't go down that road. But what do you think it'll be like? The way society is the now, fighting with each other. I think if we're still here, I think we'll all be herded up into cities. Ken that?
You know, there's this movie clip. It's from an older film. I can't remember the name of it, but it goes to talk about how New York City is the newest model for. This is a bad segue considering we opened up with a live camera feed from Times Square. But New York City is the newest model of concentration camps where the inmates are the wardens.
You're talking about a Snake Plissken. You're talking about Escape from New York. I know the movies. Yes.
None.
Drew, my brother's in the chat.
Not with Kurt Russell. No, it wasn't with Kurt Russell. No.
You sure?
No, I'm not sure. But it doesn't seem like it was more of a kind of a philosophical movie, not like Kurt Russell's old action films.
I don't know what's going to happen, man. The way I watched that TikTok, and to be honest with you, I wish I never started it. And just the younger generation now. The younger generation are just crazy, man. I mean, seriously crazy.
Oh, like your generation hadn't done anything crazy
yeah, look, I'll admit, no, my generation, this is my generation, ladies and gentlemen. My generation used to play outside. My generation used to have fun outside and play with each other, chasing each other about and shooting each other with like stupid guns and stuff like that. And I don't mean real guns, but just toy guns and playing outside. But this generation's totally changed. They run about calling themselves all different pronouns and dyeing their hair purple and pink and putting stupid things in their faces and all that and calling each other stupid names. And it really annoys me because I was watching one and the woman or the man or whatever fucking is, I don't know, is actually, she thinks she's a reincarnation of Adolf Hitler. Did you see that?
That was a chick?
That was a chick.
Wait, yeah, you showed me that when we were recording a show when you showed me it, but that was a woman? I thought it was like a really skinny dude.
No, it was a guy. But she says she's a reincarnation of Hitler, but that's had a sex operation back to a woman.
Well, he did only have one testicle.
He did only have one testicle, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I mean, I just don't know why it's going to end. Honestly, I think one of these days people are just going to explode because there's like half people are like, holy shit, what's going on here? And then the other half just complete crazed lunatic. I mean, it's worse than bloody Mad Max and the Thunderdome. You ever watched Mad Max? God,
no, I haven't. Not even the newer Tom Hardy one.
No, you don't want it. It's loads of shite. But you want to watch the ones with Mel Gibson, right? That is what your society is going for. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I identify as rich, and you all have to give me $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Yeah. And for us, yeah, the Mad Max world would happen for sure. I mean, I don't think there is a future for humanity if it keeps going down this road. I really don't. It really needs to wake up soon.
Here, I gotta side with Maggie here on this one. Yes, it looks chaotic right now, but that is by design. A storm's going to be coming. The storm's already here. And it's going to get confusing these next few years alone. But good things are coming. Good things are coming.
What's that? Diane Farrosh. Oh my God, I've been saying it for 15 years. Rich women trapped in a poor girl's body. See, that's it's, it's
Oh God, that's funny. Oh, see, you see, I missed this about live
see, you could
shows.
actually use this pronouns to your advantage, because they've made it law in a lot of countries. You could actually use this to your advantage.
Yes.
If you think about it, to get into places, to use this,
Here,
you could use
here
that. You really could.
Here in Idaho, people are still way behind when it comes to things like that. Hell, if you buy into OnlyFans, no, over here, if you buy into OnlyFans, you can actually be arrested for prostitution.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Do not be buying into Dakota's OnlyFans service.
Don't go into Chris's either. It made me throw up. He had me set it up for him.
I know, but that one that you set up was awfully good. I mean, that one you set up was quite good with the alien women and stuff like that. I never seen anything like that. And especially the hairy Brazilian men. He's terrible, ladies and gentlemen.
You are way too obsessed with that.
It's you that keeps bringing it up.
No, yeah, did I bring it up? No, you're the one that's been bringing it up this entire show.
So here's a question: where can people and our amazing subscribers go to see this interview you had?
It's not out yet.
No.
He wanted to pre-record it because we had to. Well, basically, he had to bring in an interpreter because I know absolutely very little Portuguese. So, and he knew about as much English as I knew Portuguese. So it was our first time working with an interpreter. So it was interesting.
I take it
from what I was told.
Voice.
That's my understanding how they're going to do it. But Josephine actually messaged me just before the show saying that their goal is to get it up by Tuesday. So, well, I didn't know that, Tina.
Why is it everybody starts coming in when we're just about to end the show? So,
I know, right?
What we're talking about tomorrow night? What's the amazing guest?
We have our guest. We have, what was her name? I'm sorry, I've been out partying last night.
Terrible.
So,
you shouldn't be allowed to. Heather. I'm going to butcher her name. Leigh. Doesn't matter. I'm sorry. It's the alien recording device in the head doesn't work.
Yeah, it's called the brain. Heather Leigh Carroll Landon. She is a actual doctor. It's going to be a very interesting conversation. She actually hosts her own little program online, so that will be good to see how that goes. And like you said, why is it everybody tries to come in at last minute?
Because that's what people do. That is what people do.
You
should have checked out the start of the show. You should have checked out the start of the show, guys, with a big surprise.
Yeah. Bald and Bonkers takes over Times Square.
Yeah.
Well, they can actually go to the live feed for the company that puts it together and rewind it.
Yeah. It'll be quite interesting tomorrow, especially with that guest. Because does she know work with Elena? Does she know do stuff with Elena and stuff like that? So what does she do again then? You should know, because I was doing the stuff.
Have you?
Yes.
She doesn't.
I've had the wrong one.
I think you have.
Right. Maybe that's what it is.
Are you thinking of like Danny Henderson? That was the one that she canceled on. She canceled on us because she injured her elbow.
Read the wrong one. Oops. I'll read the other one after.
Oh dear God.
See, this is what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Dementia is a terrible thing. Dementia and old stuff and becoming mad and
careful what you say there, man. They say like 1 in 8 people is gonna end up with dementia by the age of 85. Huh? Where am I?
I don't know where I'm at. Well, see, that's the thing with dementia. You wouldn't ken that you've got it, so how would you ken that you're talking about it? Because then you wouldn't ken you've got it.
You want to hear? You want to hear a funny joke about dementia?
When you go.
Did you know that smoking decreases the likelihood of you getting dementia?
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have 2 cigarettes hanging out each ear then 5.
Yeah, smoking cigarettes, you're more likely to die around the age of 66. More than 8 people are going to develop dementia by the age of 85. So therefore, smoking decreases your chances of
It's
getting
quite,
dementia because it's supposed to kill you before you has a chance.
it's quite interesting you say that. It's quite interesting you hear that because I knew a guy who used to drink 2 bottles of whiskey every day and smoke 80 cigarettes every day. I've not seen him, obviously, for a while because he died when he was only 20. But no, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this and you've got younger people in the room, don't drink and don't smoke. Or drink, do what you want, but don't smoke. Smoking is really bad for you, you know. What?
And he brags about his cigars and
I
vapes.
love a cigar now and again. I've not had a cigar this year. You know what? I'm saving. I'm saving it for when we meet up with Dakota and we go to Yellowstone National Park and he takes me to a special place. I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, very beautiful place, but not a lot of people
Is
come
it?
back from it.
Oh, that's a shame. A shame. But don't worry, you'll be fine.
Well, it is summertime. Most of the dead bodies that come out of Yellowstone are from idiots that are trying to play nice with the bison.
Iron Firehorse, I smoke 2 packs a day. See you.
It's okay. This is Bald and Bonkers. We have plenty of voices in the background, so you are more than welcome to be one of our spectral guests.
I stopped.
Tell us what happens.
Phoenix, I stopped vape. I used to vape. I don't do it anymore because I've seen people what it can do to people. It's actually worse than smoking tobacco.
I tried telling you.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm trying to be your friend and look out for you, but like we were talking about with Ann, do I need to grow a pair of tits in order for you to actually listen to when I go to suggest to you something?
What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Do you think you should grow a pair of tits? If
Mine
you're
are
not ready to
already.
go, I say.
Yeah. A big fluffy set of man pillows for all the ladies who big feel nice and comfy.
Yeah. There you go. So there might be a young woman watching this tonight thinking, God, that Dakota there's a handsome young man.
Yeah, well, I think I pissed off my friend last night when I got the waitress's phone number, so.
What was his name?
Christina.
Oh, for God's sake. You've got a thing about that name, haven't you?
Yeah, Christina Aguilera. Ooh!
Ladies and gentlemen, honestly, I just don't know, you know. Maggie
Hey,
RLZ. What does that stand? What does the
I think
4RLZ stand for?
that's supposed to be for reals.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, think about it like vanity license plates.
There you go. You could be some young ladies in there that you could ask out on a date. Is there anybody in America? Yeah, guys, single guy here.
He's the lonely one. Speaking of which, why is it? Yes, Dakota got it. Yeah. Yeah, I figured No, she's saying that
I know, but you were going to ask me something before that.
Oh, yeah, right. So what is it with you and Drew then?
But my brother, he's in the chat.
Yeah.
It was the reason
I guess
the reason he's in here tonight is because he was wanting me to play GTA tonight. But I says to him, I've got my shows today.
Well, do it right after we sign off. It's
I'm
about
not
time.
gonna. I'm going to run GTA at this time of night. You're mad.
But
Night.
I guess you constantly flirting around with Drew's. That's a lot better than my sister who just got knocked up by a guy with the same name as our uncle.
See, that's congratulations. I just think they're all going to be running up to you going, Unky Dakota, Unky Dakota. Just think all the presents you're going to have to buy.
On top of seeing the Northern Lights this weekend, going to a watch party for a movie I filmed, the Times Square deal, new video game that I helped make just came out. I also found out I'm expecting a new niece or nephew. Which, everyone, I will say this, I don't usually like doing this. Some good thoughts about that. My sister is kind of nervous about it due to the fact that this is her second pregnancy and the first one didn't exactly take. So she's kind of scared right now because of everything she went through first.
As a wee nephew to teach him the trades of the alien hunting.
No, I just warned her. I end up babysitting. I will teach that child very evil things to torment her with.
That's terrible. So when you settling down Dakota and getting married and having 7 or 8 children, I know you've got your space children and stuff like that, but you have to have someone else, you know.
Well, those kids may be coming down here in the next couple of years, so it seems it would be kind of awkward. 1, 2, let's leave these. Can we just find me an Earth woman that doesn't want to end up on an episode of Jerry Springer? Oh wait, he's dead. Never mind. But you know what I mean.
There may be somebody listening to this tonight. If there's anybody out there in your 90s or 80s, this young man is handsome and he's single. Just message me and I'll put you in contact with him.
Hey, you're the one.
There's always a single girls that queer, so they might be recognise you, so be careful what you ask for. What's that? There's always single girls at times.
Where we just did the Times Square thing.
There you go.
Yeah.
They'll be eyeing you up, Dakota.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, Tina. We're up to 3 now.
I know. You're a busy person.
They're all up in space, so I technically get a mulligan.
Very true.
I get a free pass because of just how the rules are. But anyway.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll catch you all tomorrow, and I hope you all have a fantastic Saturday night, and I hope all the aliens come and abduct you tonight, and you can tell us all about it tomorrow.
Yes, and if you ever have such a story, feel free to reach out to us, and we can have you on as a guest.
Oh, there's living history, my friend. Spending.
Well, see what I mean? People coming in right as we're getting to sign off the show. So anyway, because Drew finally goes to show up, we better end this here.
Live long and prosper. I can't bend that my fingers. Oh, look at that! He's a Trekkie fan. I can't do that. I wouldn't make it.
I've never watched Star Trek.
Aye, okay.
I know. I legitimately haven't.
Thanks for tuning into the Bald and Bonkers Show. If you enjoyed the show and want to show your support, head over to our website at baldandbonkers.net. There, you'll find our merch, services, and more. Thanks for being part of the Bald and Bonkers family, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Damn it, missed it!